Good morning. My name is Umberto Mucci. This is We the ItaliaNews, a daily podcast about Italy during coronavirus times. Today is Friday, May 22, the 19th day of Italy in phase 2. 3 months have passed since the first case of coronavirus recorded in Italy, although today we know that the virus had already been circulating for weeks. But it was on February 22 that Mattia, a 37-year-old man from Codogno in the province of Bergamo in Lombardy, was diagnosed with the coronavirus. He was the first case of a European patient, and it was due to the intuition of an anesthetist doctor who thought outside the box because her patient was not responding to any therapy. That doctor violated laws and protocols and risked criminal charges, but she was right. Unfortunately, in the meantime, Mattia had unintentionally infected many people in the hospital, who in turn unconsciously infected many others. Now, Mattia is okay, and while he was in the hospital, his wife even gave birth to their newborn. Today in Italy, there are less than 10,000 people hospitalized for COVID in intensive care and not. It happens for the first time since March 14, but especially after having reached a peak at the worst moment of the epidemic, when the sum of hospitalized people in intensive care and not were over 33,000. And today there are just over 60,000 people currently positive. At the peak of the epidemic there were 108,000. Yesterday one swab out of 111 was positive. It's a new record. Besides, in 13 regions there were less than 10 new positive cases. No victims yesterday in Puglia, Sicily, Trentino Alto Adige, Umbria, Valle d'Aosta, Calabria, Molise and Basilicata. Even though this figure, which is not a figure because we're talking about human beings, has been over 150 for 3 consecutive days. Yesterday, 161 Italians died of coronavirus. Lombardy is under special observation. In Milan, the risk parameter rose from 0.60 to 0.86. Under 1, the epidemic is considered to be under control. But the fact that there is an increase in risk, albeit slowly but steadily, day after day, creates some concern about Milan. When the epidemic was at its highest point, this index stood between 3 and 4. Now we are still far from that situation, but the danger is that phase 2 may lead to a return to the past. Let's hope not so. To give an idea of the problems that the lockdown has brought to the Italian economy, just read the data on the hours of Cassa Integrazione. Now, what's Cassa Integrazione? Cassa Integrazione is a social safety net, not the only one in the Italian system, that consists in the payment by the state of a sum of money in favor of workers whose employer has reduced their pay due to a reduction or a radical suspension of work activity. In April 2020, compared to the same period in the previous years, there was an increase of 3,000%. 3,000% more. The number of hours relating to April 2020 alone, just 1 month, is almost equal to that of the whole year of 2009, the whole year, which was the year following the terrible economic crisis of 2008. Alitalia has announced that it will resume direct flights from New York JFK to Rome Fiumicino as of June 2. The Embassy of Italy in Washington reminds that Italians wishing to return to Italy will have to comply with the provisions adopted by the Italian authorities for the containment of the contagion. For more information and to download the self-declaration forms that must be presented to the air carrier and upon returning into the country, you can consult the website of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, esteri.it. According to the National Social Security Institute, which is called INPS in Italy, almost 20,000 coronavirus victims are missing in the count drawn up by the Civil Protection. Now, these are 2 public institutions. INPS manages the settlement and payment of pensions and social security and welfare benefits. The Civil Protection is the Italian counterpart of FIMA. INPS disputes that the numbers of the Civil Protection because it maintains that the method of classifying the cause of death is wrong, and above all that it often fails to perform a virus-positive test in deaths which happened at home. According to INPS, from March 1st to April 30, so in 2 months, there were 46,909 more deaths than the average recorded in the same period of previous years. The number of deaths declared as COVID-19 in the same period, in those 2 months, from March 1st to April 30, was 27,938. Among other things, this figure in the 2-month period January-February, so the 2 months before March and April, in 2020 was instead lower than the average of the same period of previous years. So now it is true that during the lockdown there has been an increase in deaths due to other illnesses, because some Italians could not find a hospital bed or because they did not go there for fear of contagion. But it is also true that there has been a virtual zeroing of road traffic victims or accidents at work because people was smart working. The question that IMS asks is, what are the reasons, if not COVID-19, for a further increase in deaths of 18,971, of which 18,412 in northern Italy, where the virus was spread more than other regions? It's a very good question, isn't it? It's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow with a small surprise. And please stay safe and stay healthy. This was We the ItaliaNews. Today is May 22. Ciao from Rome. My name is Umberto Mucci.